There are so many theories and ideas about shopping and curating your wardrobe. And one of them is to be hyper organized, planned, curating, controlled, even to avoid clutter, to avoid overspending. It's definitely got its place, but is it fun? I think the fun element can come in when you open the door to the world of thrifting. And these are two completely different ways. And I think the thrifting way and to be open to surprises is quite magical. It's maybe a more feminine approach of shopping because you're more receptive to what you will find. It's the opposite of this is my wardrobe, be analytical about it. This is the one piece that's missing, and I'm now gonna find that one piece. I understand that, but there's also the other way, and maybe combining those two would be the ideal. Fun comes in because obviously when you thrift, there is all colors, all shapes, all materials, all kind of messages that are being communicated with these clothing. And every piece of clothing feels like a whole story. It's more like a library or a museum. Even if you are very curated for maybe 80% of your wardrobe, maybe you can go and thrift for that 20% of fun and unexpected. Another benefit that I find of thrifting is that there is some more freedom to play around with the clothes or to experiment or even to wear them, because if you've spent a lot of money to an item, chances are you're going to be very careful. You're going to be careful to pick it, to go out and about. And you're also going to be careful when you are out and about. Like, oh, if you have a expensive silk skirt, for example, and you're going to sit down on some chair, does it have wooden bits that can make, there's this aspect of being very careful with expensive clothes that is not adding to a sensation of feeling free and happy, I think. Another benefit of thrifting is the quality of the clothes. Now, that has been changing drastically the last 10 or 20 years with fast fashion, but you can find quality for a fraction of the price again. You can look for the good materials, and I would absolutely advise you to do that and pay a lot less for it. Moving on to my tips that I've gathered over the many years. My tip number one is thrift when you're on a holiday. And that can either mean you are off work, you have a day to yourself, and you can have all the time in the world to discover a massively overwhelming thrift store. And another benefit of that is when you are on a holiday in a different place than where you live, you are already having a bit of a more open, explorative mind that can help with how you will perceive the pieces that you are seeing. You cannot do this quickly. You have to have your time. If you're a human being, you will be greedy. Accept it. We are greedy beings. This is an important tip. Constrain yourself. Do not go over enthusiastic because the prices are low and you will just, whoa, I'm going to take this. And then you end up with what we started talking about with clutter. You only need so many clothes, and it's just not helpful to not be thoughtful about what you're buying. So constrain yourself is, I think, maybe even the most important tip. I'm currently wearing a top that I bought here. I'm on a holiday, I'm at the seaside, and are these exactly my colors? No. Is this exactly the shape for me? No. I need waist definition because I'm a theatrical romantic in Kibbe terminology. And no, this is not doing any of those things, but it brings me joy. It's fun. It gives an element of fun. Do you think I bought this way? I did not. It shrunk like crazy. And that's because it's viscose and I washed it only 30 degrees, but still it shrunk. That's a shame. Um, that is something to balance out if you want to take the risk with viscose or not. But it is a more natural material than polyester, and a lot of fun things in thrift store, especially from previous decades, are made of viscoses. But it doesn't cost a fortune, so I think it's still worth it. And I will give this to my godchild who's 10 years old. I think she will love it. Ever since my styling with David Kibbe and being typed as a summer in the season palette, I'm avoiding buying black. So this is another example of maybe what not to do, and that is having to buy something, which I did just the other day here as well in a thrift store, but I just could not resist it. Sorry, I'm not setting the right example here, but this is silk from a brand that I know and is very qualitative, and it's actually, I don't know if it's too big, it's whatever, but I just could not resist it. I saw myself having a good time in it, maybe going, it's maybe nice to dance in, which is especially silly because I already have a silk black dress that I thrifted not even that long ago. Everybody will have their weakness. With me, obviously, it is black silk dresses. This needs to stop. Just to show you some insights in what can go wrong, or again, do you think this looks actually really good? I think I do feel actually very good in it. So maybe, I don't know. You do whatever you want with the advice given. But I wish you a lot of fun. That is the most important. And magic, because we are all at the mercy of what we find in stores. This is someone else who does that. No, so quoting Nona from the Aligned Lover, who I interviewed here previously. It is so true. Even if you know exactly your type and so on, you don't know what you will find in stores. But going to thrift stores makes the adventure a lot more fun. I am convinced of that, and hopefully I convinced you as well, or gave you a few tips and tricks if you're already thrifting.